you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
A lovely morning to you, and thank you very much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to the Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyi Tono. Now, we're in the Women's Month, and here at UBC TV, Good Morning Uganda and the Extra, we have put special emphasis on this Women's Month, where we bring various women in various disciplines or professions, but you also want to look at a sector that is more of male-dominated and see there are people who carried out a research and they came up with a report, and we want to know more how are the women doing when it comes to the ICT sector. Now, join me, welcome the Executive Secretary, CIO Forum and Director Impact Outsourcing, Kurununji Gideon. He's with me in studios, and these are the people that carried out this assessment to see how are women performing when it comes to being in this sector and playing key roles. Gideon, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Happy to be here, Mr. Chirabo. We are good friends, but also good morning to our listeners. I'm happy to be here. Also, happy Women's Day to, firstly, my mother, who is in Rukunjiri, who comes from Nyatshenyi, and she's married in Nyarushanje district. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all women of Rukunjiri. Happy Mother's Day to my mother, but also happy Women's Day to all women that are in Uganda. Thank you for what you mean to us and the sector.
So you don't have a better half?
Partly is why we're here, because we have no women in the IT sector and we need more. We have very few. We have underrepresented. Please, Robert.
Well, Gideon, to start with, you're the Executive Director, CIO Forum, and also the Director, Impact Outsourcing. Let's begin with this forum. It sounds very new to me.
Yes. Thank you very much. The CIO Forum has been inaugurated this year, and in a few months we are going to launch it. But initially, the CIO Forum is a convention of CIOs, who we call Chief IT Officers for private sector and public sector, but also Chief Digital Officers, Chief AI Officers, different roles of people in IT. But our role is to look at the heads of IT and their role in causing national transformation in terms of economic competitiveness of our nation, but also enterprise performance. Enterprises need to perform better using technology. So we need to reposition IT leaders, number one, for boardrooms, to be boardroom ready, to have things we call like the GFT framework, which calls that people need to have like a crazy business acumen. So usually as IT people, we tend to sit in computers and in the server rooms, and we are in T-shirts and jeans, and we rarely sit in the boardrooms. So we want to change the role of the IT leader to be sitting in the boardroom. We want to make sure that we equip fellow CIOs and fellow IT leaders in different organizations to have roles at boardrooms. If I tell you, many organizations do not have IT leaders sitting on the boardrooms. They don't. They call IT leaders to just connect cables. So we are gathering leaders to make sure that we improve ourselves and also cause a change in economic competitiveness of Uganda, so that we can become Africa's digital hub, and we can pull it off. Thank you.
Very interesting. Now let's look at the impact or women's participation in technical ICT in Uganda. I'm told recently you guys carried out a report or a survey.
Yes.
Please, I'm interested, and I know the public is also interested, because we celebrate women and we are celebrating the Women's Month, but also there are some inequalities in some sectors, much as we have made tremendous improvements, and I'm very sure your report factored in this.
Yeah. Firstly, I must state that we have a draft position paper that we intend to present to ICT committee at Parliament, different ministries, and also key bodies that we feel are key to making decisions in this nation. In our position paper, we have a draft right now. Many women are having input into it, and also men in the sector. I wouldn't come here with some women because they may look to be looking as if they are fighting against their own organizations. So we have also to protect them. But also, let's first look at the spirit of this month. Number one, this is a Women's Month. In the core reasons why we are celebrating Women's Day is simply because women were being underrepresented in various sectors. There was a lot of inequality, and this is why they brought the day. However, currently, there is underrepresentation of IT roles, of women in IT positions. However, no one is talking about it. No one has talked about during these Women's Day celebrations that there is inequality still happening. We are not seeing it come out blatantly because the men are not playing a role to also voice out the inequality that is happening, because they are looking at women not as partners, but they are looking at women as competitors. Now, this is the challenge. We are not seeking to apportion responsibility to any government ministry or company in Uganda to say you're responsible why women are underrepresented in ICT. In our position paper, we seek to create a forum to dialogue and say, Office of Auditor General, you said the government agencies are understaffed, but as a forum, we know over 200,000 women that have graduated and they need jobs. So what can the Office of Auditor General help us do to give these women jobs? So in this research that we've carried out, that also we are going to release in a few months, we want to engage these sector players and ensure that there is able representation of women. For example, 35% of women who graduate, only 18% go into jobs. They are employed. Where does the 17% go? So it is a systemic leak. There's a leakage of some people who are able, women who are able, who graduate very well. They are not being absorbed into employment spaces. And they are being absorbed into places that we can't find. So recently we are looking for women to employ, but we can't find them. But also, where we want to send them, they are understaffed and they are not declaring that this is a challenge. There are also some barriers that we've seen. One of the key insights I can tell you, there's a ratio of 10 to 1. 10 men to 1 woman in organizations in Uganda. That is grave inequality. And we are seeking to engage key sector players and ask them, what should we do? Firstly, it's not a role to be played by government alone. It should also be played by us in the private sector. Companies should say, maybe we should change the job descriptions to say that let the job description not sound as if it is a manly task. Because some women have told us that when they are reading through job descriptions, they end up saying that this job description is for men, and they end up not applying for the jobs in IT. So we want to look at who is doing the job descriptions, and we are going to engage HR fraternities and other organizations to see that job descriptions are also favoring women to apply for these jobs, so that they don't scare the women thinking it's only, but also already sometimes
you must be able to work longer hours. You must be able to go in any part of this country.
Part of this country, climbing, different things. Or they over-exaggerate. There's that exaggeration.
So that make it maybe hard for the women
to apply. So
when a woman thinks of I'm married, or I must work in any part of this country.
And in the report we call them structural barriers. There are structural barriers that are happening currently that are embedded within our frameworks, how we're hiring people. And we want to say that let the structural barriers be eliminated. So it's not a pipeline issue. Now, this is the challenge. Uganda has a national development plan for, we want to reach Vision 2040, we want to multiply tenfold. However, we're ignoring 50% of our workforce. So if we're only targeting men, how shall we employ Ugandans if we're not hiring the 50% of our population? Number one. Number two, if we're not hiring, if we're eliminating women in the job creation, but also eliminating them in the building of national infrastructure, then we are innovating technology that is not inclusive. Because a woman can tell you that this software you're developing may not work for us, and she'll speak from her perspective and you'll accept. But that touch of a woman is what is actually missing in our sector. And yes, we have a permanent secretary who is a woman. We have, that's Dr. Amina Zawede. We also have our STI minister, Honorable Dr. Musenero, who we really love so much. But still, we need more. We need more women. Not just even taking technical roles. We now also need them in leadership positions.
Now, Gideon, this brings me to ask, do we have the women, the numbers necessary to take in? Because ICT sector is a bit complicated.
Yeah.
It may not be as medicine, but you know, it involves continuous. Today, you know this program, the next day it's overrun by another program. You know, it's very taxing. It takes sometimes too much continuous reading, just like journalism. All the time reading this, a new bill is coming, an amendment. But with ICT, more technology coming up, all this, do we have the women? Because we are not just going to have people in places simply to improve percentages of people in these places by basis of their gender.
So thank you very much. That's a very good question. And I want to let all the listeners know that currently, as a forum, we have already convened key universities. We have already engaged in key universities. And in a few months, we are going to have a graduate and students workshop where we shall meet graduates and students. We don't have a pipeline issue. we are on national television. We don't have a pipeline issue. There are very many women out there that have graduated in IT roles, but they're not being absorbed into the job creation spaces. They're not being absorbed into different offices. And there are systemic barriers that need to be addressed urgently. And for me, my challenge is this. We are celebrating Women's Day and taking coffee and jumping and dancing, but no one is addressing that actually we have a ratio of 10 men to 1 woman in the IT organizations. If you analyze, let's say, do a compound analysis and say these are how many women we have and how many men are in the sector, it's a male-dominated sector.
Which many believe it is as it should be, because many believe, one, it's so much of hands-on, hectic, tiresome.
No, actually, technology has changed. Over the years, technology used to be assessed as one for climbing hills and others, but now technology has changed. We have AI roles that have emerged, the software development where someone can develop software. We have women who have been trained from even skilling academies, like Refactory among others. Some are even skilled in robotics to build robots. But one of the challenges we've seen is that there is a systemic barrier. And I don't know how much I can frustrate to maybe address that matter. So in our position paper, we assert 3 matters that are key. One, that the most immediate crisis is the profound deficit of women in core technical roles.
Now that is a deficit.
Yes. So we have a deficit. But even in this deficit, we know that we have women who need the jobs, but they're not being absorbed. And we feel that there is, we are wasting the national investment because 35% of women graduate from university. Let's say of all graduates, 35 being women, and which is also a great inadequacy. Because in our analysis, in our position paper, we are informing that public sector needs to know that we are below the UN standards of how many of the percentage of women we should have in school graduating in IT. We're supposed to have 50% as well. But having 35%, let's take that. But 18% are taken into jobs. Why? Where does the 17% go? Lastly, now this is also wastes. It's wastage because people have been going to school, they have studied, they have been skilled, they're not getting the jobs. Lastly, there is the cultural barriers and systemic barriers that we've raised that are structural, that are a root cause of this systemic leakage. So we realize that urgently we need to look into the inadequacy or underrepresentation of women, and we need this to highlight the Women's Month. There could be other inequalities that are out there, but we request as a forum that let them come out. But for us as a forum and also as the IT sector, we have very many jobs for women, but we feel that there are barriers that are not accommodating them. Definitely, as you heard, that Auditor's General Report says that few women, it says that we have the jobs are not, there are many people, they're understaffed. Government agencies are understaffed. So if they're understaffed, we want to lobby and request that give these jobs to women in IT, and they can even multitask and do other roles, maybe even administration, whichever jobs they would have.
That is very interesting, the fact that if they are understaffed, then the women should be given first priority. Now, when we look at this report, you talked about structural barriers as one of the issues greatly affecting women into the ICT sector. When I move around, I see quite a number of them. Beginning here at UBC, I think it's very much, women are very much represented. I see most of our engineers, like you can see up there, many of them that are doing work are women. And I think that goes credit to our management of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation when it comes to the ICT sector. One of our top engineers, Engineer Stella, she's a lady in the IC and she runs so much of this. So we are doing good as UBC, and I think they should come and benchmark us when it comes to that, because this is a sector I look at so much. But what are these barriers when you talk of structural barriers?
Yeah, thank you very much.
And how can we overcome them?
Thank you very much. In our position paper, it's still a draft stage, and soon we're going to release it, as I said. and we're going to present it to, we've dispatched a couple of letters to key organizations, including National Planning Authority, among others. The structural barriers that there's a deep-rooted structural and cultural barrier that is in workplaces. For example, as we've said, one of the key issues is that 31% of women use internet, for example, compared to 43% of men that use internet. So it could look like a small statistic, but we've not snowballed. There's a tactic some consultant gave us recently called snowballing women into the sector. We've not deliberately targeted women to say, how do we increase the women that are use internet? How do we say that we can cover an internet bundle that is only for women? We want to look at such conversations. Those are like some barriers that are not allowing women to use IT, because sometimes these women do not have necessary technical roles in their livelihoods. You find they don't have jobs, they are sitting at home. Why don't you have an internet bundle that is targeting such people? We are looking at having such conversations with telecoms, and these are some things that are in our position paper. But one of the other key areas that we also want to have an engagement on is looking at visible role models that should create, like for example, how do we show, I think I shared with you some role models that we have identified. I showed you UBL has a head of IT who is a woman. I think also Ministry of Health has a very wonderful lady called Flavia. She's in the she's one of the top positions. Rukape's CEO is called Rowena. She's a lady. Our permanent secretary, our minister for science and technology, they are women. We want to create these visible role models and also award them and always recognize them and hear their stories so they can mentor and create the IT sector as a belonging sector. Why? We had in our consultations, we have found out that many women are not feeling the IT sector is their belonging space. And we need to create that level of belonging. And if you can create that level of belonging, it is going to create a level of upscale of the women who we have in the sector. So these and many other matters. And we don't think our position paper will answer alone. No, but we think if we can, we have created what we call a CIO circle as a forum to become a neutral ground. So the CIO Women's Circle is to recognize these women that are leading IT in other areas, at Ministry of Health, in UBL, as I've mentioned, at NITAU. I showed you some directors who are women. I think they have many as well. We need to show them. After showing them, we need as well to show the other ladies that it's possible, and we make the IT sector that they should belong here. And this is going to not be the answer as us as a forum, but we feel through structured dialogue, we can have we can have answers come out. So it has to be all of us coming together, but men included. Men should not step out and say, no, this one is only for women to find out the issues that are affecting the sector. No, but we need to face the underrepresentation of them in our sector. Thank you.
Well, at that, let me first go for a short break. I return with my guest, still looking at how best we can address the gaps when it comes to women in the ICT sector.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Are you looking for a home away from home? Then this is the place for you. My name is Chini Kaji, and welcome to Hotel Le Confidential.
With 84 comfortable rooms where you can relax and feel safe. Each room has a lovely view of green vegetation, Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and a tasty breakfast.
Children can have fun at our kids' water park and our kids' play area. You can also enjoy our world-class health club, spa, sauna, gym, boutique, and sky blue swimming pool.
Thank you for choosing Hotel Le Confidential, where every stay is unforgettable. Come and stay in comfort, right at home, today, tomorrow, and always.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and much thanks for being with us on UBC TV. I'm still with Nkuru Nunji, if I pronounce it right, Gideon, who happens to be the Executive Secretary, CIO Forum, and Director Impact Outsourcing. And we are looking at women's participation in technical ICT, where they carried out a draft report or a survey which will be launched very soon, so we can for now call it a draft. And they discovered some inequalities when it comes to women's participation in the ICT sector. I think you said out of every 10, there's only one woman in this sector. Now also when you look at the 38% that graduate, you find that only 18 get jobs. So there is so much there, and we are still looking at what should be done. Now this drives me very quick to look at what do you recommend in terms of policy, because government works depending on policy.
Yeah. Firstly, I must acknowledge the great work that has been done by the policymakers at the Ministry of Finance, at National Planning Authority, at the Ministry of ICT, at NITAU, who is a regulator, alongside the Uganda Communications Commission. They have done a great job. We have a 2014 policy that is old for the ICT sector that we feel we need to look at and revisit. We are soon having a position paper on that. Maybe it depends whether our secretariat will be ready to also do that position paper, because it goes through a lot of analysis. And also we are now going into the budgeting phase, which is very sensitive. because already there's the National Budget Framework paper for the next financial year that has gone out. We still are going to seek dialogue with the key ministries and ask whether Ministry of Finance and other parties would want to snowball women within the same. For example, can we create a fund that could look at women and ICT and how do we increase their participation? I gave you a scenario. We as the private sector, we are going to rally private sector companies and we're going to ask them to make a pledge. How many women can you take on next year? Can you at least get us a certain percentage? But also if we engaged the key bodies that be and we want to employ more women, can they create waivers for some IT companies so that they can employ more women? So we want to see a snowball strategy. We call it a snowball strategy. So that snowball strategy is going to be ways to support this to be done. But firstly, we are going to start with, we don't want to fly blind. We want to work with UBOS and other bodies to firstly find out how many women are existing in various sectors, also in employment. We want to also look at more data and maybe more surveys that are done. But also note that the existing data is not sufficient, but we want it to be done, for example, twice a year. And we'll collect this data and keep analyzing and assessing the performance of onboarding women in technology, when is it reducing and when it's not. It's upon the analysis of those patterns that we shall be having an adaptive strategy that keeps improving. But urgently, we are going to start with a snowball strategy, deliberately focusing on inclusion of women by design in many areas. It's going to start with our communication from how we announce job descriptions. It's going to start with creating a fund and that is focusing on this. Can there be a fund done by private sector companies, but also by our dear governments to deliberately look at these marginalized groups? Recently, I saw one of the papers showing the minority tribes that are perishing, that are going to go in a few years, whereby one of them is only having 22,000 people. And if you look at women in the IT sector, the numbers are actually reducing.
Sure.
Yes.
But I see more women graduate.
They are graduating, but we are not putting them, we're not absorbing them.
So they are going into other...
And directly, it's simply because we are not using like a snowball strategy. Let organizations commit. And as CIOs, we are going to lobby and request that organizations commit to this. And they are going to, deliberately they're going to. But the challenge is we want government to as well speak the same tone. If we want Uganda to reach the goals it wants to reach as per the NDP4, which maybe I'll happily come one day to discuss, is that in the IT lens, we want to employ more women because it's 50% of our workforce that is being ignored. So that 50% of the workforce shouldn't be ignored. So we want to first understand the data. After understanding the data, we make sure that there are deliberate strategies that we're going to do, like creating the funds. And we need to also, sir, address what we call the leak pipeline. The pipeline is leaking. Why are women disappearing from? Some of them, they are absorbed immediately at employment after graduation, but then after sometimes we don't see them appear in their careers. So we don't know what is happening. Are they being, are they leaving the jobs because they are very technical or not suitable, or was the challenge the internship pipeline that we created? So we want to be very deliberate on accommodating women, and we want this to be a sector that they are going to be proud of. Yeah, so those are one of the strategies, but we call it a snowball strategy, yeah, and we hope it's going to work, and it's going to be also vetted by certain economists that we are going to engage, but our position paper is soon going out. Thank you.
Then earlier on, you slightly hinted on the CIO Women's Circle.
Yes.
Now, when I hear circle, I hope we are talking about monies. Briefly on that.
So the CIO Circle, we are looking at the leaders of IT who are women across government and across private sector. We are looking for them. So if you're a woman out there and you're leading IT, you are a department head, you are head of IT, we are looking for you. We want you to inspire the next generation of women. Commit to us a few hours a week and just once a month, okay. Create a nugget, publish something, we shall help you publish it for you. We shall help get some women that we can mentor. that are in universities, that are in various technical institutions that we can mentor. We want to see more women being included in the space. We don't want them to feel like this is not a women-owned space. But also, we want to profile you as a woman that is in technology. We want to shout about you and celebrate your success because this is a Women's Month and you should take this. So that's much about the CIO Circle. But it's a program that is actually running this position paper. And the CIO Circle program is not just going to highlight women, but we're also going to award them. At the end of the year, the date we shall confirm and announce officially, we shall award these women and thank them for what they have been doing to the IT sector. So we also want them to champion innovations that are gender inclusive. So I told you earlier that only 35% of women are using internet, for example, and 43% of men are using internet. Why? Could there be an internet bundle that could be created for women? So we want, like, what products can we create how can we make the IT sector generate solutions that are inclusive of women? Because those are the farmers out there, those are the owners of businesses out there who are women, and we need to make sure that technology is inclusive. And if we can do that and have such shared platforms being done, oh my God, I'm very sure that we shall have tremendous success through the CIO Women's Circle. So I'm inviting the women who are out there who lead departments, please come and belong to the CIO Women's Circle. And you can visit our social media pages. They are called CIO Forum Uganda. You'll see us. And please urgently nominate yourself. There are links there where you can register. And we shall get to you. Thank you very much.
Well, very interesting. If you're there and you're a woman in the ICT sector, now there is a circle. But you're looking at those that have already made it. More so, Nunji, we see CIOs. These are already in big positions. Yet, you're saying we are losing the number of those in the sector. What efforts are you doing for those at university, you know, even the young ones, to inspire them to come into this sector? Because believe you me, when you talk about 1 in every 10, that is a very little number. But also, if the numbers are decreasing, then we may not. Then we may even have few take up such courses like ICT at universities.
Oh, thank you. That's a very good question. We have written we've sent these letters to even the Ministry of Education and other entities. They have been dispatched. We seek audience with the education bodies, including universities, because universities are having students, and maybe the cutoff points for, firstly, IT needs to be sometimes looked at for women so that we can accommodate more of them. But let's first go into the CIO question of why am I targeting the ones who have made it. The ones who have made it will help create the sector to be the one which is led by women. We want that feel of it to show that actually the women are being spotlighted and they are leading the sector. After that, we want to create a technology-ready gateway for graduates. So the graduates, we want them to have a gateway that is ready. Firstly, we are going to have deliberate internships for women. But who is going to approve that internship? One on top. Number two, we also want to look at the pledge these companies can make. So who is going to help us advocate? The one at the top. But also, we want to have an honest conversation of how did they make it. Can they also inspire? A woman out there at Muni University in Gulu, for example, right now, she's studying. She doesn't know she can lead MTN one day. But if, let's say, the MTN CEO spoke about how she made it and how she has been now CEO of MTN, I'm sure some lady in Muni University will be inspired. Or in Kabale University out there, and who is doing IT. So we want to create a gateway for technology-ready graduates, and we'll have this portal out there. And we can have this portal out there, and soon we are going to talk about it soon, and we shall release it out there. And this portal, when we release it, we'll make sure that graduates who are ready can register, but who we have worked with the universities to register, but immediately when we have a very good gateway, we'll make sure that institutions can pick from the databases we have which are ready of these graduates. So it's a step-by-step process. And it starts with the leaders, firstly. So that's why we're really looking at these women. But also we want to show, as I told you earlier, let the sector be known to also have women. We want to brag this month about these women, and also this year when we are awarding them. Thank you.
Very interesting, and I think that will motivate very many young women out there. Now, in the interest of time, we must have a recap of behind the headlines that happened yesterday, so we must leave some good time for that. I'll just allow my guest a minute or two for your parting shot.
So, so thank you very much for this opportunity to sit on national television to discuss this matter. That number one, we are celebrating Women's Day. We celebrated it, and everything has moved on normally. It was a day to just change dishes. We don't think it should be. It should be a conversation of women inequality and underrepresentation in various sectors. I am calling upon people in other sectors to as well do the same. But if you belong in the IT sector, we request for your support as a forum. See how you can contribute to championing women's success in the sector. We have a position paper which is in draft stage. We request that organizations that are willing to contribute to it, you're welcome. You'll be, and also people who want to contribute as individuals. Your information will be held discreetly. No one will know what you have said, and we shall make sure we protect you. But at the main thing, we also ask government to allow us to present to them our position papers that are almost at their desks. I think today most of you will have these position papers. We want to have this conversation on the underrepresentation of women in IT technical roles. Because for someone to be a leader in IT, you first start technical. So we want to first have them in the technical roles, then we shall now later complain about leadership, maybe next year or the after. But let the conversation stress the point that there is underrepresentation of women in key sectors and high inequality, and this gross inequality on human rights. So we are humbly requesting that organizations that are out there, and if you're a CIO woman out there, and you're head of IT, or IT manager, even if you're close to the role, and we request that you're nominated by your organization and you join our forum. The CIO Circle, you can find us on our social media pages, CIO Forum. You can also search CIO-CXO.Africa. That's our website. You can as well find us there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being one of the men that really come out to advocate for issues regarding women, mostly in the ICT sector. And of course, we hope many do join the forum. Well, behind the headlines will be next. Have the best of your day.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This